fellas? It's Everything and More, the podcast in which we talk about everything and more. So, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about who the greatest NBA team of all time is. We're going to be talking from 5 NBA teams from Showtime Lakers all the way to the Golden State Warriors. And we're going to be discussing with my boy who runs his Golden State Warriors podcast, Bret Frost. So let's dive into it right now. All right, what's up, Bret? How you doing, man?
What up, Key? Thanks for having me, man.
Anytime, man. Let's second time's the try. Or fuck, I can't even speak English, dude. Whatever. You don't have to speak English, dude. It's America. We're a nation of immigrants. Is that right, Bret?
That's 100% correct.
That's 100% correct. All right, let's get to it. 5 greatest teams of all time, the ones we're going to be talking about. This is just in chronological order. It's not necessarily in greatness. So first one, we're going to be talking about Showtime Lakers with Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, yeah. 90s Bulls with Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan. The Kobe and Shaq Lakers. That was probably the most recent one that we had. Because Shaq, oh my gosh. Shaq, what do you think of Shaq, Bret?
I think he's the most dominating force in NBA history. I mean, the guy had a game where he went 63 and 23.
63. That's like Will Chamberlain style, except with better competition and better rules.
Oh yeah, I mean, dude, he was an animal.
God damn. All right, and then next
Can't
one.
shoot free throws though.
Nah, dude. But here's the thing. The way he put it is, imagine you shooting a tennis ball into the basket. That's what it was for Shaq.
Definitely. Yeah.
But again, think about it this way: if I shot a tennis ball 1,000,000 times into the basket, I'd eventually get good at it, right? It's like almost like no excuse. It's
that's why Kobe and Shaq broke up, man. Was because Kobe was always up in Shaq's face saying, "Hey, you need to work harder. It's the off season, and I'm putting 8 hours in, shooting 500 shots a day, and you're over there eating Twinkies in Florida."
Yeah, man, those two did not get along towards the end, dude. That's crazy.
And again, Kobe gets a bad rap. But Kobe's like, he's a winner. He's that competitive nature, man. Like when you're that competitive, you expect the same from your teammates. And when they're not as competitive as you, it frustrates you.
Yeah, I mean, Kobe's determination is just on another level, dude. I don't see LeBron's determination the same, honestly. I'm a huge LeBron fan. I wish I saw some of that in him. Like you know, LeBron's a completely different player. But I mean, we'll get to it. Anyways. Next team is the Lebron Heat, the one with Wade, Bosh, and Ray Allen. And then, obviously, also in the conversation is the Golden State Warriors. Warriors, Bret, greatest team out of this 5?
I think the Golden State Warriors will go down as the greatest team of all time. 4 Hall of Famers, 2 MVPs.
4? Who's the 4? LeBron, or not LeBron? Durant, Steph, who else?
Clay and Draymond.
You think Draymond? Well, maybe.
Draymond is the best defender on the planet right now. The guy is amazing one-on-one defender. He's an amazing help defender. He can guard 1 through 5. He's so versatile. He can do it all, man. Steals, blocks,
shoot 3-pointers.
He's tremendous, man. Hey, his percentage was down this year from 3-point, but maybe he'll work on it.
Man, I saw him against the Cavs, dude. That fool, I think he probably knocked down he was probably 3 for 20 in 3-pointers against the Cavs. Dude. That was pretty bad.
Yeah, that was bad. But again, that's not his role. His role is not to score. That's not his role.
And he knows his role, man. He's a good player. Anyways, let's before we argue about who's the greatest team of all time, let's just go over some honorable mentions. Bird Celtics has to be up there, man. What do you think of that team?
Bird Celtics, great team on both ways. Larry Bird. I mean, he was big time Bird, dude. He would show up in big games and ball. Kevin McHale, the up and under, he was awesome. Tiny Archibald was like a great defender. Don't sleep on Bill Walton. I mean, I know he was old, but he could still play.
Nah, man, Bill Walton, definitely some length right there. He was 7'1", I think?
Yeah, I mean, he was a good 2-way player. He was awesome. Their center, 00s. I'm blanking out on his name right now. What's his name?
Robert Parrish, is that it?
Yeah, Robert Parrish, my bad. Okay. Yeah, dude, Robert Parrish. Again, dude, they're a great defensive team, but I don't think they score enough against the Warriors.
Okay, because that team also had 4 Hall of Famers. You had Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, and Dennis Johnson.
Yes.
Yeah. But I
Yes.
mean, we're not going to really talk about them that much. Definitely honorable mention. You could definitely argue that they should be up there, but we're not really going to get too into it. Next honorable mention would be the Bad Boy Pistons. What do you think about that one?
Bad Boy Pistons, man. One of the greatest defensive teams of all time. Same thing with the '04 Pistons that we're going to talk about a little bit. Two of the best defensive teams of all time. But again, I don't think either of those teams score enough to be considered the best ever.
But man, Bad Boy Pistons, dude, that team used to just eat Jordan alive, dude. You had Bill Laimbeer fouling the crap out of him, Dennis Rodman,
I mean,
Isaiah
there was
Thomas, Joe Dumars, all Hall of Famers, dude.
There's a book called The Jordan Rules.
The what?
The Jordan Rules. It's all about the Jordan Rules, which was what the Pistons followed in order to stop Jordan. And it basically was put him on his ass every time he comes to the basket.
And they
And
did that.
everybody gets a piece of him. John Sally, Bill Laimbeer, they're putting him on his butt, dude.
Damn, John Sally, I forgot about that guy. Jeez Louise.
And everyone forgets about Vinny the Microwave Johnson, a bucket waiting to happen.
A bucket waiting to happen.
The best six man of all time, Guy.
Really? Wow, that's saying a lot. Better than Leandro Barbosa, man? The Brazilian Blair?
Way better. I know that's your guy.
That's my guy, man. That's my guy.
That's funny.
All right, man. Next one, honorable mention, Duncan Spurs. You got to put him up there, dude. I think
probably the best coach team, one of the best coach teams of all time. Which Spurs team do you want to talk about? Do you want to mention the team that beat the Heat when Kawhi Leonard was Finals MVP? I mean, that was a great team. Do you like the earlier 2000s when Duncan was more in his prime?
I like the earlier ones when Tim Duncan was in his prime. Manu Ginobili was just a force to be reckoned with. Tony Parker just knocked down every single floater that he put up. That team was nice.
Yeah, I mean, again, dude, one of the best, well-coached teams, and they beat big-time teams in order to win those championships. They beat some top-notch competition.
And they could have won an extra one in 2013 when Ray Allen hit that three-pointer. Remember that one? That was against the Spurs.
Oh man, they had it won. Kawhi Leonard misses the free throw. LeBron misses the three. Bosh kicks it to Allen. Goes to overtime. They fall apart, and then LeBron goes off in Game 7.
Exactly, man. So that team right there could have been an even better dynasty. That team was great, man. And like you said, really, really, really well coached team. I don't see Greg Popovich in my eyes greatest coach of all time.
I mean, yeah, he's the greatest coach of all time, and it's the ability, it's what he's able to do for such a long period of time with the talent that he had.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just crazy. And then the next honorable mention, in my opinion, you got to put the 24 Kobe 24 Lakers, where you had Kobe. Like, this is, in my opinion, this is probably the lankiest lineup of all time. You had Kobe Bryant, you had Kobe Bryant, Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom, up and coming Andrew Bynum,
Ron Artest.
Oh my God, disgusting Ron Artest.
Yeah, that was a great team. I mean, they went on to sweep Dwight Howard's Orlando Magic.
Yeah, that was a great team. And then a little bit before him, you had the 2000 Pistons. 5 All-Stars plus Ben Wallace. Oh my God, that was a disgusting lineup in my opinion.
Yeah, one of the best defensive teams of all time. But they don't score enough to compete with the Warriors or 90s Bulls.
Nah, they don't.
Or even the 80s Lakers.
Yeah. 80s Lakers. But so let's get to it, the 80s Lakers. That team was pretty much the team of the 80s. People don't understand, man. That team was they went 5-9 in finals from 82 to 91. So that team, the 80s decade, that was Showtime Lakers. They had Magic, Kareem, James Worthy, Big Game James, and the one and only, finish it off, Brett?
Byron Scott,
man. You got Magic putting up triple-double every game, Kareem.
And they were deep, dude. They had a good bench.
They did, dude. The lanky team, dude. So how do you see them matching up against the Warriors?
Again, I think the Showtime Lakers match up well with the Warriors just because they're long and athletic.
Really
and
athletic,
they like to push the ball too. But I think the Warriors would find a way to attack Kareem and put him in pick and rolls and make it difficult for him. But obviously, he's going to make it difficult for us on the other end. Because, I mean, you're going to have to throw JaVale McGee on him, Looney on him, Durant, Draymond. I mean, you're going to have to throw a bunch of different guys on him, and it's going to be tough, man. I mean, the hook shot's the most unguardable shot of all time.
Yeah.
Maybe the Lakers slow it down enough. And I think that series goes 7 though, and I got the Warriors in 7. I think we could just shoot them out of the gym. I mean, three's worth more than 2, Gee.
Yeah, no, I mean that's clearly a fact.
But again, Magic's also going to put Steph in the pick and roll and get Steph on him, and then post him up.
Well, if you're Steve Kerr, Brett, who do you put on Magic?
Klay Thompson.
Klay Thompson. I mean, how tall is
Andre
Klay Thompson?
Iguodala. Klay Thompson 6'7" and long. Andre
Okay, he
Iguodala
matches up with Magic.
6 and long. I think you got to throw those two on him, and then Durant's going to have to guard Worthy and maybe guard a little of Kareem, and Draymond's going to have to guard Worthy and Kareem, and yeah, I don't know. I just think again, I don't know. I think the Warriors could outscore them, and they would win in 7. I think it would be a battle though.
It would, dude. Because so as we were talking earlier, is that so these are two different eras of basketball, right? The Warriors changed the whole style of basketball. They went from
Changed the game.
Absolutely
changed the game.
From big man to 3-point shooting team, right? And then these are two different eras. You have these 80s where everybody's playing long, everyone has a center, right? That's the whole reason why the Portland Trailblazers picked Greg Oden over Kevin Durant for this fact, because they thought you needed a big man to win and be.
The blueprint back in the day was you have to have a dominant big man in order to win a championship.
Exactly. And then the Warriors changed that, but still, who do you think would have to make more adjustments? You think the Lakers would have to make more adjustments so they could be able to run and gun like the Warriors, or the Warriors would have to make more adjustments so they'd be able to guard big men like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
I mean, I think you both have to make adjustments. You know, throughout the whole series, both teams are going to be making adjustments. I think the Lakers would have to find a way, though, to go small at some point, because I think Kareem's going to get tired. And I think what if I just could see them abusing Kareem in the pick and roll, because like nowadays everyone switches because everyone's so good at shooting threes, right? So people come up high on the pick and rolls, whereas back in the day you used to go under the pick. But you can't go under the pick against anybody on the Warriors.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Against any of the ball handlers on the Warriors. So I don't know, man. Both teams will make adjustments, so I'm going to say the Lakers have to make more.
So let's say we're the Lakers. I don't remember who that Lakers head coach was. You remember?
They had a couple. Pat Riley was one of the most famous ones.
Okay, we'll say Pat Riley. So if you're Pat Riley, who do you put on Steph Curry?
Man, I guess you have to throw Byron Scott on Steph. And then you got to have, or you could put Magic on him too, but then someone's got to guard Klay, and then you're going to have to put Worthy on Durant, I guess. It would be interesting to see, because dude, it's always funny with the Warriors. Like, what about with Iguodala out there though, and Draymond out there, like in running the small ball lineup? But the Lakers like to run, but still the Warriors, they're faster. They can get out and they're going to make way more threes than the Lakers will. The only chance, dude, I think the only chance Lakers have, you got to get offensive rebounds and get more possessions to get more attempts.
I mean, you put Kareem Abdul-Jabbar there, man. I mean, I think he averaged 11 rebounds a game with the in that era. I think this era he's averaging 12, 13 at least, and against the Warriors he might be averaging 14, 15 rebounds a game against the Warriors.
Yeah, I think he would be an animal. That's why I'm saying it would be a tough series, man. I think it would go 7.
But you think you got the Warriors in 7?
Yeah, I'd probably take the Warriors in 7, just because I would rely on their 3-point shooting, man. I think the majority of those 7 games, they're going to shoot a high percentage from 3. And I mean, I think Kevin Durant and Kareem are the 2, and Shaq are the 3 most unguardable players of all time.
Kevin Durant, Shaq, and who's the other guy?
Kareem.
Oh, I don't know how nowadays how players would guard Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, honestly. I have no clue. I don't know how JaVale McGee would even stack up against him, because especially since he's an idiot. But
whoa, don't be dissing my boy JaVale.
Well, he disses himself. Not much I got to do there. Anyways, let's skip it. You got the Warriors in 7 on that one.
Yeah, I think it'd be a battle, but I'm going to go Warriors in 7.
All right, what about Bulls? So the Bulls, they won titles 91, 92, 93. Jordan took a break, and then they came back, won 96, 97, 98. You got Michael Jordan, 30 points per game, incredible defense. You got Scottie Pippen putting up 20 points a game with Jordan, and just incredible defense as well. And then the X factor, if they're playing against the Warriors, you got Dennis Rodman, 15 rebounds a game. This guy is just incredible, dude. 15. If he playing the Warriors, he might average 20 rebounds a game. Honestly,
I think he probably would get 20 a game. I think he's the greatest rebounder of all time and one of the greatest defenders of all time. Same thing with Scottie Pippen. Same thing with Michael Jordan.
yeah, that's a defensive team right there.
That team was insane. Ron Harper, 6'6" and strong. That team definitely a great defensive team, but they're not scoring enough, man. They are not going to score enough to beat the Warriors.
You don't think so? A player like Michael Jordan putting up 30 points a game, Scotty in the finals, he'd probably get more. He'd probably get around 35.
He'd get I think he'd get 40 because I think without hand checking, getting rid of hand checking, and with Jordan playing without hand checking, I think he gets 40. But again, dude, who's guarding Durant? They don't have an answer for Durant. You put Pippen on Durant for a while, maybe Jordan takes him for a while. I don't think they have an answer for him. And then who guards Steph? I mean, Ron Harper's a good defender. I guess he guards Steph. Or do you have Jordan? What if Jordan says, screw it, I'm going to guard Steph?
I could definitely see that because, I mean, we didn't see that against the Cavs because LeBron, I feel like LeBron's definitely a different mindset than Michael Jordan and LeBron and Kobe Bryant. That's why we didn't see much, LeBron guarding Steph. But I could definitely see if Steph knocks down 2 3-pointers in a row, Jordan's going to say, F it, I'm going to guard this guy. I'm done, dude.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think the Warriors will win in 6, maybe 7. I think their shooting's too good. And I think if you look at the bigs, I don't think Bulls bigs are good enough. Like their role. I just don't think the Bulls role players are good enough. Like the Warriors role players are better, in my opinion.
All right. So speaking of role players, let's talk about this. A lot of people say, "Oh, Jordan won with his team was trash." But like the season after Michael Jordan retired, 93-95. With no Michael Jordan, the Bulls won 55 games. Scottie Pippen averaged 22 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. And then they lost in 7 games in the second round to the New York Knicks. But the New York Knicks will go on to lose in 7 games in the NBA Finals to the Rockets. So that team right there without Jordan was an NBA Finals team. And then you add Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman. You don't think they'd be able to take the Warriors? You don't think they'd be able to beat the Warriors?
Man, I mean, again, it comes down to matchups, and I think they match up pretty well with the Warriors. But again, like we're gonna shoot them out of the gym, Gee. It's the same argument I was making in a 7-game series. I think the majority of those games we shoot a high percentage from 3 and win.
Who guards Jordan? Who guards Jordan in the Warriors?
Man, you're gonna have Iguodala guard Jordan. Yeah, you're gonna have Clay guard Jordan. You're gonna have Durant guard Jordan. You might even throw Draymond on him. Sure. I think you're gonna throw all these different lineups on him. To be honest. And dude, the Warriors are quicker than the Bulls too. I think the Warriors could get out and run.
Yeah, I mean the Warriors. Yeah, that's a really athletic team, huh? When you really look at it, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Durant, that whole team runs.
And then you could start JaVale if you want to be athletic and long. Like,
you would have to start JaVale, right? For Dennis Rodman, like Dennis Rodman, this guy he genuinely liked getting a rebound more than sex. This guy was just incredible, dude. The greatest rebounder of all time, and then the Warriors struggle getting defensive rebounds against Tristan Thompson and Larry Nance. You throw somebody like Rodman, this guy's getting 20.
And also, if you want to talk later Bulls, you forget about Tony Kukoc. That guy could play, dude. He's one of the best European players in that era. He could play, man.
Who you putting? If you're the Warriors, who are you putting on him?
I mean, I guess whoever. It just depends on who you then put on Jordan Pippen. That's you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. And it depends on the lineup if you're in your death lineup or if you're in your starting 5. But again, dude, the Bulls don't shoot the ball well enough. I mean, I'm looking at their 3-point percentage. The 3-point shooting right now. They don't shoot it well enough. Even Steve Kerr shot like what 38%.
38.
Something like that. I mean, that's great, but just think about that. He's the only guy shooting that well.
Damn, hey, hold up. That's crazy, dude. That's funny because if they did that matchup, you'd have Steve Kerr playing on the Bulls, and then you'd have Steve Kerr coaching the Warriors.
And who would Steve Kerr guard? That he couldn't guard anyone on the Warriors. They would kill him. The Bulls couldn't play him because he would get killed.
That's funny. Yeah, shady, bro. That's a Kerrception right there.
Oh, man. Even Steve Kerr will agree with me that this Warriors team would beat the Bulls. I guarantee it.
I mean, but that team was wet, dude. The Bulls, the first year they picked up Rodman, they won 72 games, NBA record at the time. And then you can argue that's the greatest NBA season, right? Because You would have had the Warriors winning 73 games in 16, but they lost in the finals. So that
Because
right there,
Draymond was suspended.
yeah,
But
because Draymond's an idiot. He kicked LeBron in the balls. I mean, you have to take temperament into consideration, right? He also had a bunch of technical fouls this year. I mean, the guys.
You don't suspend a guy in a closeout game in the NBA Finals because LeBron put his balls in his face and then he reacted to it, and then you suspend him. I thought that was absolutely awful.
All right. Anyways, the Bulls, that 3 seasons with Rodman, 72 wins, 69 wins, 62 wins. So each year they were winning. They were demolishing the league, man. You think the Warriors stand a chance?
Yeah, and also the reason why too the Warriors record is so much more significant than the Bulls. The league was more watered down back then in the 90s. You had newer expansion teams. You just had teams that weren't nearly as talented.
That's true. The competition is definitely better this year.
Guys weren't as skilled in the 90s and 80s as they are now.
That's very
true. You have to be skilled. I mean, back in the 90s and 80s, you could just be a bruiser and make a team. That's very rare in the That's very rare in the NBA nowadays, with the exception of Zaza Pachulia.
Or what's the name? Brian Scalabrine. The guy's the GOAT, honestly. We always talk about LeBron and Jordan, but you got to put Scalabrine in the conversation.
Scalabrine's got to be in the combo.
Done, bro. It's done. Oh my god. Anyways, and honestly, dude, I could definitely see that.
What about Mike Dunleavy? Why isn't he in the GOAT conversation?
Dunleavy, Matt Bonner, all those guys, man. You gotta put him.
Troy Murphy.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean those guys, dude. Honestly, those guys probably average like 10 points a game in the 80s.
You think so? Maybe because they could just, I don't know. Yeah, I mean they're skilled. I mean they were skilled, obviously. Like,
I mean those guys would just demolish your local YMCA league. So I can't hate on them that much. They're way better than me.
Oh man, Troy Murphy, he's a legend.
Andres Biedrins. All right, that's enough point around.
Andres Biedrins.
Anyways, next team. So just go back. You got Warriors in what, 6, 7, 6.5? You can say 6.5.
Yeah, maybe. All right, I'll say 6.5 against the Bulls.
6.5 against the Bulls. Okay, if they play multiple years. Next team, Kobe and Shaq, Lakers. Oh my God, what do you think of that team?
That's a great team. I mean, maybe they'd be able to slow the game down enough and just feed it to Shaq and let Shaq eat, and like maybe get the Warriors in foul trouble. But I think the Warriors win that series in 6 or 7. Again, the matchups favor the Warriors. I think the matchups favor the Warriors, man. But again, Shaq would have a couple games where he would just dominate and they would win those games.
Oh, dude, but people don't understand. Shaq is arguably, top 5, top 7 greatest NBA players of all time.
He's top 5. I think he's top 5.
I mean, I can't argue. I mean, okay, like, look, let's look at the statistics right here. Shaq, what did he average in the finals? Shaq in the finals against the 76ers averaged 33 points, 16 rebounds, and 3.4 blocks, man. If that's not dominant, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I mean, let's be careful though. That Sixers team is one of the worst teams to make the NBA Finals.
You think so? I mean, Allen. But dude, who did Shaq score all that on? Shaq scored that on Dikembe Mutombo, dude. Oh my God.
An old Dikembe Mutombo,
yeah,
but yes.
I'll give you that. Definitely. But I mean if you're the Warriors, who are you putting on Shaq?
You're gonna have to put Zaza and like JaVale, Looney. Bell,
these guys have to play.
You're gonna have to double them. You're gonna have to just hope the role players don't play well. I mean, if you're the Warriors, you kind of have to hope the role players miss shots and force them to beat you. But again, I think the Warriors have better role players and have a better team, and I think they could get out and run and knock down threes against the Lakers. That's my honest opinion.
I mean, the Warriors are, I think, arguably the greatest 3-point shooting team of all time.
Warriors, they're the greatest shooting team, but not even just 3-point shooting. They're the greatest shooting team of all time.
I mean, that's people. You got Steph. I mean, it's not even an argument. Steph is the greatest 3-point shooter of all time, hands down.
Yeah, he's the greatest three-point shooter of all time. Clay's probably the second greatest three-point shooter of all time.
You think so? Better than Ray Allen?
Yeah, I'd put him ahead of Ray Allen. I mean, they're probably tied. If you're just talking three-point, they're probably tied. But, I mean, Clay can shoot over either shoulder from the mid-range. He can come off. He can run fade routes. He can run curl routes. I think he's a better shooter than Ray. I mean, Ray Allen could do all that too. Maybe they're tied. I don't know. Maybe they're tied.
But honestly, dude, one thing I really, really like about the Warriors and Steph Curry is that Steph Curry can play off ball. He doesn't need to be touching the ball to make an influence, dude. Like, you see this fool running around the court, running off screens, pick and rolls, off the ball. Like, this guy, that's the difference between him and LeBron. LeBron can't play off ball as good as Steph Curry, dude.
No one can play off ball as good as Steph Curry.
I mean, it also helps that he's a great three-point shooter, so it just draws that much attention, and it makes the other players around you great. I mean, that team right there, man. I mean, I'm gonna stop.
I mean, all the logistics nerds say that like Jordan and Steph are two of the best players ever. Like, if you're looking at logistics, and then they argue that they just make it so much easier. They just make it so easy for their team to score.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's why they freaking love Steph. Like, Steph won 2 MVPs for a reason, man. Like, the logistic guys love him.
But okay, so if you're the Warriors, who are you putting on Kobe Bryant?
Clay and Durant.
But I'm thinking
and Iguodala.
I'm thinking Kobe averages in this series. Kobe and Shaq each average 30 points against the Warriors.
I mean, you're probably right, man. They're gonna take most of the shots, and I think Kobe's gonna get some good looks because we're gonna double Shaq.
Yeah, exactly. If you double Kobe, Shaq's open. You double Shaq, Kobe's open. Like, right there, I could honestly see this Kobe and Shaq Lakers beating the arguably probably one of the greatest teams of all time because of Shaq. Because Kobe was an amazing. Kobe wasn't like who would you say is the better Kobe? 8 Kobe or 24 Kobe?
24 Kobe, the Black Mamba.
I mean, definitely got more experience, but 8 Kobe was also what did he average in that little series?
I'd have to look at the numbers. I'm not sure what he averaged, but let me say this though, Guy. Derek Fisher is gonna knock down shots. You can't leave Derek Fisher open.
And who else? Who else is gonna knock down shots in that?
Tyronn Lue is not gonna knock down shots.
No, not Tyronn Lue. Robert Horry, man. Big Shot Rob. Remember that guy?
Big Shot Rob's gonna knock down some shots.
You can argue he's probably one of the greatest clutch shooters of all time, dude. This guy used to.
I just think, dude, we're too athletic for them. But Guy, we're too athletic for them.
You think so?
Yeah, I think the Warriors are way too athletic for them. I think we run pick and rolls and get favorable matchups. I think Steph would wear Kobe down because I feel like Kobe and Durant would wear Kobe down, and like I just like the Warriors. I like the Warriors in that series, man, in like 6 or 7.
But X factor, in my opinion, is Shaq, man. Like who if you're the Warriors, who do you throw on Shaq? Like, as you saw, the Warriors were struggling to get defensive rebounds against Larry Nance and Tristan Thompson, right? Imagine Shaq, 7'1", 7'2", 315 pounds, athletic. Who you put on him?
Yeah, he's an absolute animal, man. He's gonna go off, but I guess, like I said, you're just gonna have to try to double him, and see how that works. But yeah, that matchup's not gonna bode well for the Warriors, that's for sure. But again, 3 is worth more than 2, man, and we gotta hope Shaq's missing his free throws, which he always does.
One of the worst.
And again, he's one of the worst free throw shooters of all time. And then again, Guy, we have a lot of bigs. I think he just throw tons of bigs in and just hack the crap out of them.
Yeah,
and Kerr always would do that. What would Kerr always do when the other team had a bad free throw shooter on the floor?
I don't know. Hack him?
He would intentionally foul him, and they'd hack him, and he would just keep bringing guys in and hack them until you have to get him off the court. So I feel like Kerr would play that little chess game with Phil Jackson, and Shaq would get frustrated, and Kobe would get frustrated. Kobe's younger at this time too. You got to understand that.
Yeah, that's true.
And the Warriors would run him out of the gym, knock down threes. I got Dubs in 6.
Dubs in 6. Wow. I honestly, I might have Lakers in 7 in this matchup. I think I definitely see the Lakers over the Warriors in this matchup. Maybe like 6 point or like 7.2, because this is just gonna be a gruesome matchup for both teams. I just don't see who guards Shaq in the Warriors. I don't see who guards Shaq.
But I don't see who guards Steph, and I don't see who guards Durant for the Lakers.
I mean, Kobe definitely guarding Durant for sure. Kobe
and Durant would have 6 inches on him.
What do you mean 6 inches? Kobe was 6'6", wasn't
Yep, and Durant's 7 feet.
he? Nah, Durant's like 6'10", isn't he?
He's 7 feet, dude. Ask
Jesus.
anyone. Ask anyone who stood next to him who's an NBA player. They're like, dude, he's
I
seven
mean, I
feet.
could just do a quick Google search. I'll take your word for it.
The
Yeah,
Google search is gonna say he's 6'9" because that's what he wants to be listed
oh,
at.
I got you. Yeah, they do that stupid lying thing just to make.
But again, dude, these are all hypothetical. It's fun to
Of
argue.
course, it's
Again,
fun to
like
argue.
I'm putting my money on the Warriors though.
For me, honestly, I'd have because it's all about matchups, right? We could be talking right now. We're talking about matchup like these Lakers against this Warriors, but this Lakers could match up better against the Bulls, but the Bulls could match up worse against the Warriors, but the Lakers match. So it's like it's at the end of the day, it's all about matchups, and that's kind of what we're talking about right now. But I see in this opinion, I don't see an answer for Shaq. Even if you hack him, what your whole team's you're gonna have 50 fouls in the whole game. I don't see.
But the Warriors could do that because they have the depth at the bigs to do that.
But honestly, speaking of depth, dude, in my opinion, you could argue that the Warriors are the deepest team of all time.
Yeah, I mean Sean Livingston. You have an NBA Finals MVP on your bench, and Andre Iguodala. You have Sean Livingston, who's just absolute money. Depending on who you decide to start at center, but I love Looney because he can guard 1 through, or you can kind of guard 1 through 5. Jordan Bell can do the same. He's so versatile. Even JaVale McGee had instances where he did well guarding LeBron and smaller guys. Yeah.
Okay, but let's talk about on the defensive end for the Lakers. Who does Shaq guard in? Like, because I'm thinking Shaq is going to be more. He's going to be drawn out to guard more of the 3-pointer. What do you think about that?
Yeah, the Warriors would put Shaq in a pick and roll and kill him. Because you can't, again, we were talking about this earlier, dude. You can't go under the screens with the Warriors. Steph will just shoot.
Yeah. No,
Clay will just shoot. Durant will just shoot. You have to come out. You have to switch. And they would kill Shaq. And I think they would wear him out.
That'd be interesting.
And again, I think the Warriors hack the crap out of Shaq. And then I think they attack him on the other end. And I think I got Warriors in 6.
Warriors. That'd be an interesting matchup, dude, honestly. But I still go with the Lakers, in my opinion.
That would be so fun, man. Out of all these matchups, I think I'd want to see that matchup.
I feel like this matchup out of all of them is the most what-if matchup. How do they guard Steph? How do you guard Kobe? And especially, how do you guard Shaq? Like, how are they going to go about all these matchups?
Right? I guess we'll just have to play NBA 2K to find out.
All right, man. And then last one that we're going to be talking about right now, matching up against the Warriors, we'll say, LeBron Heat. You have Dwayne Wade, a little past his prime, but pretty much at his prime. You have LeBron. I mean, you could argue that LeBron's in his prime right now, right? But LeBron was a great player back then. You have Chris Bosh, amazing player. He turned more into a hustle player, almost like Anderson Varejao, right? He's the one who gave up the most.
This is the problem I have with the Heat.
What do you have against them?
And I think the Warriors would win in 5.
5, jeez, I think
5 or 6. This is the problem with the Heat. What LeBron tends to do is he turns guys into catch and shoot guys. So Chris Bosh in Toronto would isolate. He'd go mid range. He'd go high post. He'd go either side. When he was on the Heat, he kind of got turned into a catch and shoot guy, man. And he's not a good enough 3-point shooter. Look at his 3-point percentages, man.
No, but he had a nice mid range. He had a very nice mid range.
Dude, he had a beautiful mid range game. But again, go to the matchups, dude. Draymond guards Chris Bosh. I like that matchup for the Warriors.
I think Bosh definitely out rebounds Draymond though.
I don't know about that.
Because how tall is Draymond? 6'7", 6'8"?
6'7", but I mean he can rebound. It's not like he can't rebound. You know?
Bosh was a hustle player back then, man. He turned into a hustle player.
That's 6'11". That's true, dude. No, I'm with you, man. But again, Durant guards LeBron, and then I guess maybe you have Wade guards Steph. I guess. I mean that. But then who guards Clay, man? You have Mario Chalmers guarding Clay.
No, you have Mario Chalmers on Steph.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. Mario Chalmers ain't even in the NBA anymore.
Well, we're talking about 2013.
I know, but I'm just kind of making a point there. Like Chalmers he's not a good enough defender. Norris Cole's not a good enough defender. We'd wear him down. Also, their bigs were awful. I mean, Chris Anderson, Birdman, that was one of their bigs. And then their other big was Joel Anthony, and he's trash.
Oh,
Absolute.
oh my God, we're not even gonna talk about that guy, dude. Come on.
So I got Dubs in 5, maybe 6.
Honestly, but in my opinion, X factor is Wade. If because you know Wade's always his whole career, not his like his this after he won with Shaq, in the Heat, like the second half of his career, he's been fighting with injuries, right? But like
Yeah.
this little span, like he like this little 2 3 year span, he was with the Heat because like now he's trash. But back then he was averaging like 31 points a game back then. So not back then, but a couple years before that. Like Dwayne Wade, if he can get going, that's X factor right there. I see if Dwayne Wade has a series, LeBron plays his normal LeBron self, and
But
Bosh
again,
hustles.
he doesn't shoot it well enough. Again, none of these teams shoot anywhere near the way the Warriors can shoot. And again, I keep repeating myself, but 3 is more than 2. I think you throw Clay on Wade. I think you throw Andre Iguodala on Wade.
Yeah, that's
You
a good
wear
matchup
him
for sure.
down.
Yeah.
You throw Durant on LeBron. You throw Draymond on LeBron. You throw Iguodala on LeBron. It's we're gonna win in 5,
I think
maybe
five,
6.
5 or 6. I could definitely see the series going 7. I don't see the Heat winning in 5 or 6. If the Heat were to win, the Heat were to win in 7, maybe 6. But I could see the Warriors sweeping, if not winning in 5 or 6.
Yeah, the Warriors are the better team. Straight up, they're the deeper team. They're the better team. They have better matchups. They can shoot way better than them.
So what do you think out of out of the 5 we just talked about? Showtime Lakers, 90 Bulls, Kobe, Shaq, LeBron Heat, and Golden State Warriors. You got Golden State Warriors best team of all time?
Yeah, I think they're the greatest team of all time.
Who you got number 2 in all those?
Either the 90s Bulls or the 80s Lakers.
80s Lakers, and then after that you got Kobe, Shaq, Lakers,
Probably.
and then LeBron Heat, number 5.
Oh man. I mean, that's really tough, man. Because I like the Spurs. I like that I like that prime Pistons team.
And let's not
I
forget
like the
about
prime
Bird's Celtics.
Celtics.
Yeah. Celtics was deep team, man. Deep,
But
deep
that
team.
Heat team was a great team though, and that was when LeBron was That was when LeBron was like All NBA defensive player, too. And Wade, I don't know, man. That's tough. That's tough. When you get down to 5, it's tough.
Yeah, it's real tough. But so let's talk about let's talk about matchups for the second greatest team of all time. You got I think it's a fun one to talk about. Showtime Lakers and 90s Bulls. Your Showtime Lakers. Who you putting on Jordan?
Man, I don't know who you put on Jordan, man. That's the thing. I don't know. Byron Scott, Magic, throw Magic on him.
James Worthy. How was James Worthy as a defender? I know he was a great offensive player.
James Worthy could defend. He was athletic. He could defend, but I think Jordan could get by him because it's tough. Because dude, you gotta understand, a lot longer, bigger dudes back then didn't guard guys that were good off the dribble a lot of times. So I don't know, man. That's tough, dude. That would be an interesting series. That's tough.
And honestly, dude, I can see Dennis Rodman pushing Kareem to the brink of almost like giving up, right? Because
well, I don't know about all that.
no, not necessarily giving up, but he would piss off Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, man. Rodman on Kareem,
Yeah.
like that would be a good matchup right there. I could definitely see that.
That would be fun, man. That would be fun. Showtime Lakers against 90s Bulls. I'd probably take 90s Bulls in that matchup, to be honest.
Yeah, I go with
But
90s Bulls too.
dude, it would be a battle though, man. I don't know. Actually, I don't know, man. It would be a battle.
This one, yeah, this one definitely probably one of the more battles.
There would be a fight. There would for sure be a couple fights.
All of these would be fights, honestly. Showtime Lakers, 90 Bulls, Shaq, Kobe.
Other than that 2011 Heat or 2012 Heat.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely have a podcast later about who's the greatest player of all time. The one thing that pisses me off about LeBron is that he can be passive when the game's on the line. So he'll put his team, he'll like
he's passive. He cries. He begs. I mean, Jordan didn't cry. Jordan didn't beg. Also, I mean, dude, he quit. Jordan never quit, man. He absolutely quit in Game 4. His team did not show up. To score 80-something points in a closeout game of an NBA Finals game and get swept These are grown men getting swept.
But you got to
That's
think of
just
it, man.
embarrassing.
The team he carried to the finals was trash. Trash.
I mean, we keep saying that, but Kevin Love averaged 22 and 12. I understand everyone else was trash, though. Like, everyone else other than K Love is trash. I'm with you on that.
Anyways, that'll be another discussion, man. So we got, for me, let's say you said Warriors, Showtime Lakers, Bulls tied, Kobe, Shaq, Lakers fourth place, and then LeBron Heat. Maybe LeBron Heat would be a little bit behind Bird Celtics or Pistons. For me, I'll probably have to go Warriors, honestly. Golden State Warriors number 1. 90s Bulls number 2. Showtime Lakers. Actually, you know what? F it. I'm going to put Kobe Shaq Lakers above Showtime Lakers and Showtime Lakers 4. So I'll go Warriors, 90s Bulls, Kobe Shaq Lakers, Showtime Lakers, and then LeBron Heat. Maybe Bird Celtics in front of LeBron Heat, but whatever.
And again, man, it's so hard to talk because, like, these are to talk about this because the eras are so different. The games were so different. The rules were so different. But it's still fun to talk about.
Definitely fun. And actually, I had a fun time talking to you. You're definitely a Warriors D writer. Man, I mean, you got if people want to get a hold of you, Brett, how do they do it?
You can find my podcast on iTunes. It's Bret Frost, BRETFROST. You can follow me on Instagram, frost.brett. Yeah, it's the Golden State Warriors podcast, the number one podcast in the Bay Area. Check it out, man. We're talking hoops. I'm gonna have some special off-season episodes, some draft episodes, free agency episodes. Everyone wants to know where LeBron's going. I'll give you my input on that. And obviously episodes from the reaction to almost every single Warriors playoff game on their run to the repeat.
Dope, man. Dope. I mean, I've heard some of your stuff, dude. I actually really like it. You and who's your co-host?
Brandon Stovall.
Brandon Stovall. You guys ran it back in high school, huh?
Oh yeah, man. We've been friends since third grade. I went to my first Warriors game with him actually when we were in like third grade, and we got like a Larry Hughes doll.
Wait, Larry Hughes was in the Warriors?
Oh yeah, I got a Larry Hughes doll, man, when I was at the game.
Oh my God, that's crazy. I remember Larry Hughes was with the Cavs back in what 08, 07 or something with LeBron.
Yeah, he was. He was a fun player, man. Yeah, like Larry Hughes, Mike Dunleavy, Troy Murphy. Do you remember? Obviously, Jason Richardson's a legend. Antoine Jameson. If you want to go, Gilbert Arenas, even farther back, those early
Gilbert
2000s.
Arenas played in the Warriors?
Oh yeah.
Damn. No, but actually, dude, the We Believe Warriors, that's when I used to be like the biggest Warrior fan of all time. You had You had Baron Davis, Al Harrington, Steven Jackson, Jason Richardson, young Monte Ellis. He wasn't as good as he was later. But man,
Michael Petrus,
Adonal Foyle.
Young Monte Ellis coming off the bench.
Yep, man. That was a fun team.
That was one of the greatest sporting events I've ever been to. Game 6, close out the Dallas Mavericks in one of the biggest upsets of all time.
Yep,
We stood up the entire game, only sat down for halftime.
Dude, and I remember watching that on TV, on TNT or ESPN, ABC, wherever it aired, and they had maybe you would know from other games, but they had a little decibel counter in the bottom right, because like the stadium was just so loud, dude. The Oracle, I don't know if they called it Oracle back then, but that Oracle Arena, greatest fans of all time, dude. I'm sorry. Warriors fans are great, dude.
100%, man. And again, I just went to game 2 of the NBA Finals, and that atmosphere was not even close, not even in the same realm,
really,
as that We Believe atmosphere.
That's crazy.
Not even close.
That's amazing, dude. Wow, that's credible.
The only thing to come close to that We Believe atmosphere was Game 1 of the World Series 2010.
Who was in the World Series? Giants and who?
Giants versus Rangers. Tim Lincecum versus forget the lefty for the Rangers who's famous. He has a picture of his face in my head. I'm blanking out on his name. Maybe it was Cliff Lee. No, who? I can't remember who it was, but it was anyways Lincecum versus whoever it was, and that was the first World Series the Giants won, and I was at Game 1, and that was insane.
Oh my God, I can only imagine, dude. And how many people does AT&T Park hold?
I don't know. I think Oracle holds like 19,000 and AT&T holds maybe 30,000. I don't know, because they had
30,
standing room.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, because remember they have all those standing room tickets.
And you also had the people outside watching and like through the screen doors, right? So they were also.
Yeah, maybe it's 30,000. I don't know, dude. Don't quote me on that. It could be 32. It could be 28. I'm not 100% sure. I think Oracle's like 19 though.
Yeah, that's incredible, dude. My God.
And that's why Oracle's tickets are insane.
Yeah. I mean, probably. I think for sure Oracle had like the most expensive tickets of all time of like all sporting events and stuff. Because just because the team was so good. And you're like in a really pricey area, like the Bay Area and the Silicon Valley.
Yeah, I mean, I think the cheapest tickets to Game 2 were $830, and that's like last row.
I think expensive tickets to Game 4 for the Cavs were like $400, dude.
Yeah, because I mean, it's Cleveland; it's a different economy. Yeah. I mean, it's a dumpster city.
And dude, who's gonna want to watch LeBron get swept, dude? And he gave up that game. Yeah, sad to say.
He gave up. Could you imagine if you were a Cleveland Cavaliers fan and you just paid all that money to go see him play his last game in Cleveland? No, it's going to be his last game in Cleveland. I mean, we can get into that if you want, but I think
we'll
it's
talk
his last
about that
game.
later.
Dude, for him to quit on those fans, are they going to burn his jersey again?
Okay, the one thing that can maybe keep LeBron is the pressure from his family. That's the one thing that can keep LeBron in Cleveland. The pressure from his family for him to stay there.
And if he wants his kid to go to his high school.
That's the one thing, but I don't know. We might talk about that in a different podcast.
But you really think he wants to play another year with Tristan Kardashian?
I don't, dude. That's the thing. I don't think he does, man. I think he's out of there. I think he's almost. I'm almost like 100% sure he's out of there. That team is trash. He got like if he has to play with J.R. Smith again, he's not doing it. Like if he stays there, J.R. Smith leaves. He has to. But I don't know, man. We definitely had a great podcast, Brett. Thank you so much for coming. If you guys like his content, follow him on Instagram. Listen to his podcast for sure. And any last words, Brett?
Oh no, man. Just thanks for having me, Guy.
Anytime, guys. Peace.
Peace.